Hey there, everyone. Seems to be a trend going around Western society as a whole, as far as I can tell by way of research and personal observation. I'm just going to say it. It's overthinking. In regards to inspiration and motivation, this can actually be a huge impediment and even detrimental, but one that is possible to overcome and transcend. If you can envision a way through, maybe a natural motivation can flow. Welcome to another edition of Ye Olde Indie Dude. This is episode number 10. This is a series that speaks to different aspects of inspiration and motivation, primarily for creative and artistic individuals, though these ideas can be widely applied. If you like these videos and want to see more like this one, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so more of these videos can show up on your feed. My name is Jᴇғғ Aᴅᴍs, singer-songwriter, musician, performer, independent recording artist, and producer with Bucketstomp Productions. So in a gentle way, you can shake the world. It's a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. So what's going on? In my observation, being immersed in the creative realm, I've noticed this common theme emerging with people of all walks of life. It's the fact that a lot of people are in a state of suffering due to overthinking. Incessant thoughts can run amok through the brain, causing all sorts of trouble. I think the root of all this is fear. There can be other causes too, and we'll go into this. There are different approaches on how to deal with this non-stop racing mind syndrome. It's not an actual syndrome, I just came up with that term. However, there is such a thing as an overthinking disorder associated with generalized anxiety and depression. Do you think perhaps the times in which we currently live could provide the framework for a widespread uncertainty that might exacerbate this issue? In other words, is the pandemic and resulting society in terms of overthinking actually making matters worse? What happens to us if we're overthinkers? I know that I've been in this predicament more than once. Throughout this time, it's the uncertainty of what's going to happen next provides a huge block towards productivity. It's difficult to plan towards anything, right? So then our minds want to naturally identify and eliminate obstacles into what it's accustomed to. There's a difference between introspective and rumination. There's a co-author of a book called Conquer Your Critical Inner Voice. Her name is Dr. Lisa Firestone. She said, much of the time when we're overthinking, we're engaging in a destructive thought process that leads to unfavorable outcomes. We're listening to what she refers to as our critical inner voice in our heads that hones in on negative aspects of the situation. And this voice is a sadistic coach. It feeds us a ceaseless stream of criticism that undermines our goals. According to psychalive.org, why do we harbor this internal enemy that feeds us such negative commentary and terrible advice? The truth is, we're all divided. All of us are split between our real self and an anti-self. While our real self is life-affirming, goal-directed, and represents our true values and desires, our anti-self is like an internal enemy that is self-denying and self-critical, paranoid, and suspicious, both toward ourselves and toward others. So our real self is built upon positive life experiences, developmental processes, etc. However, this could go back into where we come from, how we react towards examples we were shown as we were growing up. We were overly criticized when we were growing up, and therefore our inner thought process might be more overly critical. And, contrary-wise, where positive feedback we received, our inner dialogue would be more affirming and positive. Click down below for more information on this. It's just a one thought on it. How do we fix it, when this happens? How do we stop the mind from going too far with overthinking? There's a bunch of different ways. There's a person that I found, an internationally recognized expert on mental strength. Her name is Morin. I'll put a link below to her stuff. She wrote for an article in Psychology Today, 6 tips to stop overthinking. And I'll mention these briefly. I've researched this topic extensively and found a lot of concurrent themes to handling this menace of overthinking. The list seems, this one of the 6 tips I'm about to go over, it seems to surmise many common understandings of the phenomenon and how to stop it. And obviously, like I said, I'll link to the article below. But here are these steps to try and stop it. First, notice when you're thinking too much. Observe the fact that it's happening. Then, number 2 is challenge your thoughts. If you're having thoughts that they're just going on and on, right? They're not positive. Ask yourself why you're thinking that way. Third, keep the focus on active problem solving. 4, schedule time for reflection. It's actually saying that it's okay to allow yourself to overthink, but then after a certain point, say set a timer and then just tell yourself, I'm going to stop doing that right now. I like that. Number 5 is practice mindfulness. I like this especially, is being entirely present in the moment. And then number 6, change the channel. That can be put into 2 different ways in the way I see it. And of course, like I said, you can look at the link in the article. It expounds upon this too. But changing the channel would be redirecting your thoughts, not necessarily the suppression of thoughts, I would say, but the allowance in your external life for different thoughts to take place as a result of your actions. So creating for more positive circumstances and thereby allowing more affirming thoughts. Myself, I have had this happen to me too, and I try to stop it because it's not productive. I now tried a new hypothesis. It was possible that I was more in charge of my happiness than I was allowing myself to be. That's a quote from Michelle Obama. Productive. I found a certain perspective by way of meditation. This might not be something everyone can get into. It is possible to consciously slow the mind of racing thoughts by externalizing your focus towards the current moment. This is my own practice, my own thought. First, you focus on the rhythm of your breathing as well, and then just the fact that you exist. You're not a being that is a slave to the racing mind, rather the opposite. Your mind is subject to your will, to your essence. Your existence need not be subject to random thoughts your higher self does not wish to entertain. However, it's not about suppression of thoughts. It's more about allowance of their flow and your attention to them, what I like to call categorization. If we eliminate obstacles towards our mental well-being, whether external or internal, we find a greater vitality, greater energy, which leads to a motivated spirit that's open to inspiration. I like the motivational concept of considering the mystery in which we live. And it's the premise of this. It's a precept of wonder. I think of it in terms of the mystery we see in the things beyond understanding. This provides for me the impetus for that flow of creative energy, I think. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. It's a quote from Aristotle. Thank you for watching. I hope you've learned a little bit about overthinking, its intrusion on motivation, and ways to overcome and avoid it in the future. This is a common problem, but not one we can't overcome. Please leave a comment below if you've identified with anything in this video, maybe had any experience with overthinkers, or perhaps go through the experience yourself, like me. Share how this impacts your motivation on your creative path. If you've liked this video, please push the like button, and this will indicate to YouTube that you want to see more videos like this on your feed. And make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell icon and you'll be notified whenever I post new content. It seems to be a lot lately. One of my weekly series, which is called Jeff Adams Indie Live, is up to 25 episodes now. I might be wrapping that one up, but every time I think I'm going to do that, I get indications that I should keep going, but I do have a few other creative ideas for live performance. I really miss live shows. So I guess fairly soon, as I work out all the logistics, plans being formed and reformed all the time, I'll try to put a nice online full show together for everyone. As things come together, I'll keep you posted, of course. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.